Hello, everybody. I am Professor Dr. Konstantin Korotkov. Today, I want to talk with you about life and about consciousness. And let's open presentation. Okay, here we are. Okay, so I am a scientist, more than 40 years. I am in science in different universities of St. Petersburg, of Russia. I have 14 patents, more than 2 or 3, I don't know, 100 scientific papers, 17 books, and my main advantage is creating of biowell technology, GDV biowell. But today we start from, not from this. We start from science, about energy, about life, and about human consciousness. But in the beginning, let's discuss the time we live in, because this is a very interesting topic. You know that every century, it was huge transformation of human civilization. It was always there was some revolution. In 16th century, new armament was introduced. It was, first of all, powder armaments. Powder was known from China for centuries, but never it had been used to this extent. And this was the end of knight's time, because now every simple soldier with a musket was able to kill a knight. In 17th century, it was scientific revolution, and absolutely new universe was opened for the European civilization. And Europe moved on scientific development. And it was geniuses, first of all, Kepler, Galilei, Newton, Leibniz, Descartes, who have been developing new science. And from that time on, from 17th century, we live in this time. 18th century, industrial revolution, and first real machinery was invented and introduced into life. Before, it was a lot of mechanical automatics system. It was watches, it was different mechanical toys, but only in 18th century, and first of all in England, then in Holland, then in Germany, different machinery was introduced into real life. And it was a real revolution. And of course, 19th century, this is electrical revolution, when people start understanding what does it mean electricity, how is it possible, whether it's possible to use it. And you understand that now all our life is based on electricity. So it was all 19th century. 20th century, it is the century of gas, oil, as a moving force of the industry, of life, and of course it is quantum revolution. This is really fantastic time, and a big group of geniuses from Einstein, Rutherford, Fermi, and many other scientists, Curie, been developing this fantastic line. And of course, in a very short time, it was created a lot of quantum instruments. It was created atomic bomb, then nuclear bomb. And now we live in a very specific time based on all these new developments. And this century, 21st century, we live in, this is the moment of bifurcation. Bifurcation means that we can move to different ways. We have at this focal point, from there we have different directions. And we can move now to different directions, and still we don't know what would be and which direction we are coming. And first of all, this is transformation from the material time to the informational time. You remember that 20th century, it was material, oil, gas, resources, it was the main treasure. Now, the main treasure is information. And the richest people, those are people who create information. And in a very short time, someone can become a millionaire just by selling information. Next topic, of course, most important, those are information network that connects everybody. And now we are easily connected from one part of the world to another part of the world. And after COVID, it became very, very popular to make conferences not in real, but online. Of course, it's not very convenient for scientists, but it is reality. It's our reality. But this is tremendous transformation of humankind. Next, of course, this is quantum technologies that totally introduced in our life. You have your watch, it is quantum. You have your phone, it is quantum. You have a lot of devices at home that are based on chips, electronic chips, and those are all quantum. And of course, in technology, in medicine, in all parts of our production, we use different devices, electronic devices. Without electronics, our life is impossible, impossible. And of course, this makes our life is quite vulnerable, because if we turn off internet, then we lose connections. If we turn off our mobile connection, we feel ourselves totally lost. So same with these different electronics. And of course, the final topics, it is development of artificial intelligence. This is huge, huge line, and we are only in the beginning of this, but you know that main countries, they introduce huge amount of money into development of this, and it's understandable because this is a new stage of human development. Now, interaction of people with different robots, those are more and more common, and soon, quite soon, you can remember my words, robots will be in every home, not just to clean the house as we have it now, but for interaction. Robots will prepare food, and they can do it very easily, depending on your taste. Robots will take care of elderly people. Robots will take care of children, and of course, it's much more convenient than live people. Of course, we have now different robotic cars, robotic airplanes, and this is again more and more common. And of course, we have drones. So, as in everywhere, we use robots for good and for bad. This is quite common. Another main topic, this is development of new medicine, medicine of health. And this is a big development in the 21st century. This medicine has different names: alternative medicine, complementary medicine, integrative medicine, herbal medicine, quantum medicine, energy medicine. So those are different names historically, but in reality, it's one and the same trend. This trend is based, of course, on old Chinese Ayurvedic medicine. This is what we had for centuries as well, and now it's more and more accepted by Western medicine. But in reality, this is transition to methods of systematic and integrative diagnostic and treatment. So that's the aim of 21st century medicine. And we look to people, to a person, like combination of alma, mente, and cuerpo, soul, mind, and body. So in Russian words, it is transition from the medicine of battlefield, when we need to save life, to save life of a person, to the preventive medicine, when we need to make everything to keep people healthy. And this was the goal of traditional Chinese medicine. It was always family doctors who was paid only when their clients was healthy. Now, finally, we are coming to this. And of course, I don't want to reject the power of modern medicine. It is fantastic, really fantastic. It's one of the biggest industry in our society, and it really makes wonders. But at the same time, we know what we should do to keep people not just long life, but healthy. But for this, we take into account our physical body, and we need to take care of our physical body. We take into account our mind and our soul. And this we name as triple manifestation of a human being. So this is very important because this is the basis of our approach to life and to science. One more interesting topic of this century, that never, ever in the human history, people was having so long life. So this is really amazing. Look at this graph. It shows historical data from ancient time, from Stone Age, Bronze Age, Antiquity, about lifespan of people. Of course, it was always people who was able to live to 50, 60, 70 years old, but they were always considered as very, very old people. Now in 70, it's a very active person, it is an energetic person, and people now, on average, live 85 years old in most developed countries, in average. But now we have more and more people who are living more than 100 years. That is very common. And so you see, this is very interesting. And this increase started in last century. And first of all, due to the medical achievements. And now, of course, as I've told, we have all the power of integrative medicine to support this development. So this is very, very important topic. So, but what's important? Important not just to live long, not to lay in bed like a vegetable for the last 20 years, but to live active life. It's better to end your life in 90s, 85, 90, but to be active, energetic, and open mind and good mind. So this is big question, big problem of modern society, because we have more and more elderly people, and a lot of those elderly people, they are in dementia, they have Alzheimer, they have many other problems. So this is total transformation of all this society. But I'm sure we'll be able to deal with this. So all this is positive, and this is very good, so it is very positive. But at the same time, we have a lot of negative moments. We have a new world order, geopolitical order. You know that we totally changed the structure of geopolitics. And as for the 20th century, United States plays very key role, but at the same time, now we have China, now we have India, now we have many other new countries. I would say new, but it's very old countries that go to this play. At the same time, we have war. We have war in different parts of the world. And you know that any war, it is disaster. A lot of people are dying, a lot of people are killed, a lot of infrastructure destroyed, and we have conflicts all over the world, in Russia, Ukraine, in Israel with other countries, in India with Pakistan. Now something is going on in Thailand with Cambodia. So it's all the time going on. And of course, now we use artificial intelligence for this. It's a new type of war. War is coming with drones, with automatic systems. And of course, it creates absolutely new reality. And another topic. Now we are totally under control. You remember this Orwell novel of Big Brother, but now we live in this time. We have watching system. It's not only just cameras that can watch our speed, but it is our computers and our phones. If you have phone, you're under control. And now, you see, you go to some place, you go to restaurant, you go to cafe, you go to any public place, and all the people keep their phone. They don't have any reality except of their phones. And this is very bad because it makes them totally stupid. And we know that in COVID, it was demonstrated that it's very easy to take people under control. It is very easy to put them at home, to keep them closed, to close and forget all human rights announced in different countries, in different documents, and to make people under control. That is very easy. So we need to remember it's a part of our reality. So what's the outcome from positive, negative, because we understand it's a very complex topic, and a lot of people have to transform their life, most young people. They need to think what should be done, what they should do. And to my mind, the only outcome, it should be development of your consciousness. This is the only way how you can live happy and full life. And I want to show you a little movie.
And humans find a time when they will allow space for what they don't believe is possible. For 300 years, science has asked the question, is there a field of energy that connects everything?
Where do our thoughts go when we're done?
Someday, there will be inventions in physics, and when they do, you will see that consciousness is energy. What human beings think collectively can be measured.
When hundreds of thousands of molecules, they can exchange vibrations all over around the field. This is chemistry, but it's a kind of dancing chemistry.
In consciousness, we can communicate and perceive anywhere throughout the entire universe.
Energy increases dramatically.
Distance does not matter.
The field is the origin of everything.
What is a thought? Thought is a particle of light. We can measure it.
Our thoughts are broadcast to the field.
What happens in one part of the field influences other parts of the field in the same instant. This is deep, profound.
So it was a little clip from the movie The One Field. But now I would like first to start this discussion about consciousness from discussion about pineal gland. Because you know that pineal gland, it is very specific, and a lot of scientists, a lot of people think that it is the seat of consciousness. Pineal gland is a part of our ancient, old brain. You know that we are all, our physical body came from the ancient animals. It is no doubt for this, and it's normal. We talk about physical body, but not about our mind and about consciousness. And we have a part of old brain that sits inside of our brain. And there are some parts like thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, brainstem, and pineal gland. And the main role of pineal gland is production of melatonin. Melatonin is the very important messenger for sleep. When we have night, when we have darkness, and melatonin is clearly related to the darkness, pineal gland produces melatonin, and it makes us sleep. And then we sleep, and you know that sleep is not just laying down. It is very important process to clean our brain, to recreate all connections, to recreate new memories, and to process all the information that you had during the day. So melatonin is the key neurotransmitter for our brain. But recently, quite recently, it was found another very important topic. It was found that not only melatonin, but pineal gland is producing of dimethyl, very long line, very long word, DMT. So we name it as DMT. And DMT, it is very, again, important molecule for our life. It was found that DMT we have in sleep, when we have REM sleep, so named short sleep, when we see dreams, when our brain is very active, and we increase this production of DMT, and at the moment before death. And please remember this, because this will be very important for our later discussion, the moment before death. So this first was predicted by Dr. Rick Strassman, who was sure that melatonin is the spirit molecule. And only late it was confirmed by production of DMT. So it is psychedelic compound. It naturally occurs in more than 200 plants. And marijuana, one of the products of marijuana, it is melatonin, is DMT. So that's why it became so popular. But brain produces this in the amount necessary for our activity. When you consume marijuana, ayahuasca, some other drugs, of course, you consume a lot of DMT, but it's not balanced. And finally, it will create some problems for the brain. So DMT, it is the seed, it is the basis of our highest levels of consciousness, altered states of consciousness. And pineal gland plays the key role in this, producing both melatonin and DMT in consciousness. And of course, when we increase level of melatonin, we transform from beta waves of our brain to alpha and theta brain waves related to different conditions, like some altered states of consciousness, alpha meditation. Beta is normal, it's every day. It's when you go on the ground, when you're connected to the ground. Alpha state, you transform when you meditate, when you have dreams, when you have higher levels. Theta, it is much higher level. Theta, it is our flying in the air. And you can do it in different conditions, but mostly in altered states of consciousness. And of course, delta, those are sleep waves, when you come down, but you are active still. So you can transform to this theta state, alpha state, by your own efforts, by transforming to pray, to meditation, And this is very important. And always, pineal gland was associated with the third eye, because from ancient civilizations, from ancient wisdom, we have idea of the third eye, the eye of consciousness. Now we relate this eye with light. And we have direct measurements that in the product and the process of meditation, we have increase of light, photons emitted by our brain. Just recently, I received the latest big article on this topic, and very, very detailed article that describe photon emission coming from the brain. And in accordance with modern science, photons play the key role in consciousness, in activity of our body as a whole, but in particular in consciousness. So analysis of light coming from the body, coming from different parts of the body, this is very, very important topic. And this is one of the bases of energy medicine, and it is the base of consciousness. And we developed this technology for many years, for more than maybe 30 years. And we see little clip. So, as you see, this was a little clip about our BioWell technology. So, what we do? We are measuring signal from all 10 fingers. We are measuring light coming from your fingers in electromagnetic field. And in reality, we are measuring transform of energy and information along meridians. And if this meridian is full, energetic, if organ is normal, then we have good signal, good image. If there are some problems in the meridian or in the organ, then we see another. And we have absolutely clear vision, because now we have several millions of readings in our database, and we have clear understanding what has been good, healthy energy field. And you see it is strong, it is powerful, without any holes, without any breaks, and without big disturbances. And what does mean good chakras? Because in chakras, we evaluate the size of a chakra, and we evaluate balance. How balanced are the chakras? And every chakra has its own meaning. We have thousands of data and papers published on this topic, evaluating this power of chakras, and mostly for psychological analysis. So this Bible, it is very important tool for evaluation, not only health issues, but for evaluation psychological features of the body. And what's important, we can see not just what's going on at the moment, what problems do you have, but we can detect potential problems that people may have, because everybody of us has weak zones. Everybody. It depends on our genetics, it depends on our health issues, it depends on our childhood, on our food, on everything. And of course, it depends on the environment you live in. You know that we have electromagnetics, we have pollution, we have a lot of influence, we have stress. So it all has tremendous influence. And everybody of us has weak zones, potential zones of disease. With Bible, we can define those zones, and we can tell people what they should pay attention to. So you see, this is energy field with a person, apparently healthy person, but with health issues. And what the difference? This was more rounded, without big holes, big disturbances. This is, you see, more chaotic, more disorganized. And every peak, every moment tells professionals what does it mean and what it is related to. We have now more than 7,000 instruments worldwide. We have many doctors, practitioners, professionals work with this technology, and they all can evaluate little details, little moments of a person health. And of course, chakras, you see, in this case, chakras are shifted. And when they are shifted to left side or right side, for us it has very good meaning. And we can detect a lot of psychological features of a person. And of course, stress. When people have stress, you see there are many holes in their energy field. They are totally disordered. It may be even practically empty energy field. And chakras, of course, dispersed. So this is the power of this technology. Of course, except of these pictures, we have many other information. We are measuring more than 30 parameters. We present it in Excel files, we present it in scientific, in statistics, and we can make a lot of evaluations. And very important, we can see energy field of a person before and after any treatment. This is very, very important feature. So we see transformation of energy field after any treatment. Would it be conventional treatment, or would it be treatment with integrative medicine? And of course, you see it's very interesting again, 15 minutes on mobile phone. Not for everybody, of course not, but some people have this response. And now we understand it's impossible to live without mobile phones in our modern life, but we can protect ourselves. We can use different protection to keep ourselves healthy. So we have bioenergy, we use it in different areas. First of all, it is integrative health analysis. As I've told, it's very powerful. Then it is response to treatment, training, food, spa, a lot of different topics. Then it is sport. We have a lot of papers in sport. Olympic teams in Russia, they use this on everyday basis, now in France as well, in other countries, in the United States. Next, consciousness research. This is what we will be talking about. Next, it is study of environment, and again, I will mention it. And finally, water and material testing. So we see so many different areas with one little instrument. Why? Because we study quantum level of existence of nature. Would it be human being? Would it be water? Would it be environment? We study this quantum level, and this is the basis of everything. There are many books which I wrote, and a lot of books you can find in Spanish, not all of them, but a lot of them. So, and practically all my books you can download from our website, iomap.club. Of course, in PDF form or electronic book. But if you want, you can buy some books on Amazon.com in printed form. But from iomap.club, it is totally free. So all the books, they belong to society. We have our main websites, Biowell, IOMAP. We have Congress every year. Now, after COVID, we have this Congress, of course, online. And you can, of course, participate in this. And we have many different lines of research. First of all, this is influence of consciousness on different physical sensors. This is line which I am developing for many decades now. And it shows us that our consciousness, our mind, it's a part of our universe. Influence of consciousness to water, again, very important topic. Influence of people to each other, telepathia, and vision director. This is type of mental training. Energía de las zonas activas. Influencia de las zonas activas en las personas. Y transformación energética tras la muerte. So let's discuss it a little bit. We have a so-named map of consciousness. The map is related to different alpha, beta, theta, delta states of our brain. And you remember I mentioned this. This is related to active mind, to activity of pineal gland, of course, and relaxed body, aroused body. So again, we combine together activity of our physical body, mind, and consciousness. And it's all related to pineal gland, and we can measure this by Biowell. And also state of consciousness, it's not only people who transform to in a meditation state, like yogi, like people in deep meditation. Those are many other cases. Feeding process, it is altered state of consciousness. A lot of young ladies, when giving birth and breastfeeding to children, to babies, they transform to altered state of consciousness. It's again very well known. So it is quite common situation, but of course it's a part of our science. We need to study this. And I was lucky in my life to meet top level psyche people in 90s in Russia, then in latest years in United States, Germany, Greece, France, other countries. And maybe you know these names: Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Victor Filippi, Dr. Christos Drasinakis. So those are all my good friends who are top level psyche people, influencers in our world. And we had many experiments with them. And you see, it is very easy to see how our person, Russian healer Chumak, influenced water. And 1, 2, this is energy of water before his influence. And 3 and 4, this is after his influence. So this is very, very important. Then we had many measurements during sessions, collective sessions of different people. And again, we see decrease of stress for most of people, and we see increase of energy for most of people. And of course, transformation of chakras before, after. So it was thousands and thousands of measurements of this type. And of course, I have many papers published on this topic in iomap.club. You can find a lot of papers if you need it. And very important, it was influence on water. Again, so we had training. We can train people to influence water from the distance with their mental state. And you see, this is dynamic signal of water in initial state. So we're measuring with our Bible instrument, with special water sensor, and we're measuring in time. So this measurement in time, and it may take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or half an hour, 1 hour, and we see this transformation of signal. And then we ask someone to send intention from the distance, from somewhere. It may be one person, or it may be a group of people. It may be collective meditation as we have now. And you see transformation. So before and after. Really big difference, really significant difference. And we had this now maybe hundreds of experiments of this type. Of course, maybe positive influence, and it may be negative influence. So water is very, very sensitive. So when you prepare your food, you should be very, very careful, because with your food, you can make a lot of positive topics, but you can make negative topics as well. So that's a very important topic. And we have another instrument, so named Sputnik. This is a sensor which allows us to measure the influence from the distance. You can find a lot of experiments on our website. And the principle of Sputnik is a very deep physical principle. So in our Bible instrument, in principle, we have Tesla coil. We have 2 resonance coils. And when we apply short electrical impulse, microsecond impulse, to one of the coils, then another coil that is not connected, that is open, emits electromagnetic waves. And this is so-named standing electromagnetic waves that emits in space. We are measuring signal, we are measuring response, and this response depends on the environment. If we are in the premises, some room, then it is one situation. And in this case, we have one type of response. If we are outside, then we are dependent, of course, on environment, we are dependent on sun, moon, we are dependent on situation around ourselves, and we have totally different response. If we have someone in the room, then we are all electrical beings. We have our own conductivity, and this conductivity can change with our intentions, with our emotions, with our stress. So when people come to meditative state, they change their system, autonomic nervous system, balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and they change their conductivity. And we are measuring this. When there are a group of people, of course, it's even stronger influence. So this way, we did a lot of experiments with many different people. For example, this is Dr. Eric Pearl. He created his own movement, reconnective healing. He is very talented, very strong, and he can do a lot of interesting topics. Of course, we see transformation of energy of people under his influence. But of course, this is a lot of other topics that he can do. And very interesting, you see, this is line which shows the energy of space in the audience with about 50 people in the audience. And it was workshop for 4.5 hours, of course, with a break, and you see this break here. And people was listening to some lectures, listening to some presentation, and then at this particular moment, Eric Pearl came into the audience and he started his presentation. And he's a great presenter. He's really very strong in his presentations, and you see energy increases dramatically. And it was kept at very high level. So we had many experiments with him, and we have study done together with Dr. Gary Schwartz from Arizona University, Dr. Professor William Tiller from Stanford, and we all came to the same conclusions, that under the influence of Dr. Eric Pearl, we change the structure of environment. And we published these findings in this book. So in meditation, we have typically decrease of energy. It's like balancing of space. But in some cases, we have increase as well, when people send another type of intention. So meditation is not just one-side process. It is a very complex process. And we have different situations in meditation. A lot of experiments we did with with Lynn McTaggart. She is a very interesting researcher from Britain, from England. She published many books, and we're developing the experience of intention. So she collects big groups of people. It may be during seminar, conference, or it may be just online. And at some particular moment, all those people, they send their intention to our laboratory, and you see the effect. Initial signal and after sending intention. Same type of experiments we had with many sensors in Madrid, then in Mexico City. At the workshop, we have many people measuring with Bible sensors. And always we had this effect, always. We had effect of strong meditation to sensors. And of course, again, it may be decreasing signal like this or increasing signal. So it means that meditation is different process and different people had it differently. So that is not one and the same process for all the people. So a lot of data you can find in my books. The Energy of Consciousness book, it seems to me it is translated to Spanish. The new book, The Magic of Consciousness, that I published just this year. Now you can find it only in English and in Russian. But maybe at one moment it will be translated to English as well. And we have a lot of experiments with this Sputnik sensor. We were coming to different parts of the world. I was very interested to go to active parts of the world. So we came to Peru, Ecuador, Brasilia, Cambodia, Mexico as well. It's not mentioned here, but we had a lot of experiments we did with Victor together. And everywhere we've been measuring energy of different places. And everywhere we had very interesting results. And finally, I would like to tell you a couple of words about our experiments with light after life. It was always interesting topic for me, very important topic. And I started these experiments in 90s, measuring possessed people, dead people. and measuring their energy. And please have a look, little movie, little clip. So what we found? We found that the type of energy transformation after death depends on the type of death. So for calm death, it is calm transformation. For death, unusual death in traffic accidents mostly, it is big peak in the beginning and then decline. But the most tragic was transformation of energy in tragic death, in killing, violence, murder, suffocation. So it was peaks up and down all the time. And we had these experiments in 90s, 2000. Now we proceed this with our colleagues from Canada, from Montreal University and the United States. And now we try to follow human energy in time during many days before death. And you see this red arrow, this is the moment of death. This is experiment of 2022, 2024, 2025. So you see, in all the moments before death, human energy increases and stay very high after death for several times. And you remember, I mentioned that pineal gland produces DMT at the moment before death. This is very important moment. So we're developing this line now, and it showed us correlation between pineal gland and Bible. So pineal gland produces melatonin and DMT. This is related to altered state of consciousness. This is related to health issues, and all this we can measure with Bible. So our measurement is closely related to pineal gland. Of course, we have many other types of measurements you can find in my book. We are measuring the energy of pyramids. So we have a lot of different data, and all those data related to health issues, as I've told. And I hope that if we are in the right path, if we are developing our real inner light, then we can be strong and healthy up to a very long age. And gracias por la atención. Hasta las próximas reuniones. Muchas gracias.